Hey guys, I'm Bhavya. In this video, I will discuss the very easy problem and the medium problem of backtracking. So let's look at the very easy problem. 4 numbers with equals OR. So basically the problem is you're given an array, you need to choose 4 distinct elements, that is distinct by indexes, and find their XOR. We need to return the maximum XOR, maximum bitwise XOR. So for example, if A is 1, 2, 3, 4, then since we want to take 4 distinct elements by indexes, that means we can only take each index only once, and since there are only four elements, we need to take all the elements. So the answer will be 1 XOR, 2 XOR, 3 XOR, 4, which is 4. Now for the second case, 0, 2, 3, 1, 5, we could choose 0, 3, 1, 5 and the XOR will be 7. So let's look at the solution approach. So the first thing is that how many choices are there to take 4 elements. So this will be equal to NC4. Now what are the bounds on n? N is actually of the order 50, right? So in the worst case, we will have 50 C4 combinations to check. So 50 C4 is something around 50 into 49 into 48 into 47 by 4 factorial. So we can actually approximate it something like 50 raised to 4. So even if we take it 50 raised to 4, and we know that this is much lesser than 50 raised to 4, this will be around 6250000, and we know that this can actually work. This number is not that big, and we can simply brute force or try all the subsequences of length 4. So we will use backtracking for that. So what we will do is, let's say we have an array. So let's actually take the same array. So the array is 0, 2, 3, 1, 5. So we have A as 0, 2, 3, 1, 5. So we'll start our backtracking that we are at 0th index. We have taken 0 elements and currently our XOR is 0. Now, for the 0th index element, we can either take it or not take it. What if we take it? If we take it, we'll move to first index. Now, the total number of elements which we have taken will be 1 and the current XOR will still remain 0. And if we don't take it, we'll be at index 1. The total number of elements which we have taken is 0 and the current XOR is 0. Now, for the first index element, we can either take it or not take it. So again, we will have 2 choices. So if we take it, then we will move to second index. Now we have taken 2 elements and our current XOR is 2. And if we don't take it, we are at second index. We have taken 1 element and our current XOR is 0. Now for this case, if we take 2, we'll move to second index. Now we have taken 1 element and current XOR is 2. If we don't take it, we will move to second index. 0 elements taken and XOR 0. So again, let's try to explore this. So for the third element, we have 2 choices, either to take it or not take it. So we'll move to next index, third index. Now the total number of elements taken will be 3 if we take it, and the XOR will become 2 XOR 3. So 2 XOR 3 is 1. And if we don't take it, we'll move to third index with 2 elements taken and the XOR being 2. Similarly for this case, if we take it, we'll move to third index with 2 elements taken and XOR will be 0 XOR 3, which will be 3. And if we don't take it, 2, 1, 0. So in the similar way, we can actually keep on expanding the tree, and when we are either at the base condition, that is, we are at 5th index, that is, we have completely considered all the numbers, or if we have taken 4 elements, because if we have taken 4 elements, then we have no choice. We have no choice and we have to skip all the remaining elements. So we'll simply take that as a candidate answer. So we will consider all the candidate answers and find the maximum answer. So for example, if we expand this branch, we will move to 4th index. Now we have taken 4 elements and XOR will become 0 if we take 1 again. But after that, since we have already taken 4 elements, we cannot take further elements. So we'll update. 0 will be one of our candidate answers. Now for this index, we will move to 4th index. Now the total elements taken will be 3 if we take the next element, which is 1. And XOR will become 3. If we don't take it, we'll move to 4th index. The total number of elements taken will be 2. And current XOR is also 2. Now, from 4, 3, 3, we can move to next index 5. Total number of elements taken will be 4. And XOR will become 3 XOR 5. So 3 XOR 5 will be 6. So now we have taken 4 elements and we are at last index. So 6 will be one of our candidate answers. So we'll update our answer as 6. So if we consider this branch that we are at third index, we have taken 2 elements and current XOR is 3. So from here, we can move to that fourth index, the total number of elements taken being 3 and current XOR will become 3 XOR 1, which is 2. And also from here, we can move to fifth index, total number of elements taken being 4. And if we have taken this element, which is 5, XOR will become 5 XOR 2, which is 7. So now we have taken 4 elements. So 7 will be one of our candidate answers. So finally, we will return the maximum of all such candidate answers, and 7 happens to be the maximum answer in this case. So now what will be the time complexity? So we know that the time complexity will be 50C4, NC4. The number of valid ways to take 4 elements out of n elements. So let's look at the code to understand it more clearly. So we initialize answer as 0. Now find, we pass the vector A. Now we are at 0th index. We have taken 0 elements and the current XOR is 0. So index L and current XOR. So if L is equal to 4, that means we have taken 4 elements. So this is one of our candidate answers. So we'll update answer as maximum of answer comma current XOR and we'll return it. Otherwise, if we are at the last index, that means we have taken all the elements, considered all the elements, we'll simply return. And now we have two choices, either to take the current element or not take it. So if we do not take the current element, we'll move to IDX plus 1. The current length will stay same and current XOR will also stay same. If we take the element, the length will increase by 1 and the current XOR will also change by current XOR with the current element, which is A of IDX. So let's move to the next problem. So the next problem is, Robin found an array A of size n, which he wants to convert into super array. To do this, he decided to choose first or last element, do one of the following operation with equal probability b times. Delete the chosen element, increase the chosen element by 1. After performing all operations, if the array consists of c elements greater than the special value of the array, then the array is called super array. Special value is the bitwise XOR of all elements. Find and return the total number of possible super array he can get by performing the above operations. So for example, if we have A as 10, 2, 10, 5 and B as 3 and C as 3. So special value will be 10 XOR 2 XOR 10 XOR 5, which is 7. Now there is only one possible super array, which is 10 to 10, 8. So this can be achieved by doing an increment operation on the last element 3 times, because we can do it, we have to do 3 operations, exactly 3 operations. So if we increment the last element thrice, we'll get 10 to 10, 8. So in 10 to 10, 8, there are 3 elements which are greater than the special value, which is 7. So we'll perform. So there is one special array. So the constraints are that n is less than equal to 10 and AI is less than equal to 10 to the power 9 and BC are less than equal to n. So let's look at the solution. So let's actually take the same example. A equal to 10 to 10, 5. So A is 10 to 10, 5. B is 3. That means we have to do 3 operations and C is 3. That means we want that at least 3 values are greater than the special value. So special value is XOR of all elements. So special value val is 10 XOR 2 XOR 10 XOR 5, which is 7. So again, this actually can be done using backtracking. So how many operations can we do? So for the first operation, we have 4 choices. Either to delete the first element, to delete the last element, to increment the first element, to increment the last element. And now B will be less than equal to 10. So since we have 4 choices for each operation and we can do at most 10 operations, right? So our worst case complexity will be 4:10. That means we will have to do at most 4:10 operations in the worst case. And now this is something around 10:6. This is something around 10:6. So again, we can actually brute force over all the possible choices and find the answer. So let's actually look at this example. So our current array is 10 to 10, 5. So we have 4 choices here. Either to delete the first element. So if we delete the first element, we get 2, 10, 5. If we delete the last element, we get 10 to 10. If we increment the first element, we get 11 to 10, 5. If we increment the last element, we get 10 to 10, 6. Now for this again, we have 4 choices. Delete the first element, which will give us 10, 5. Delete the last element, which will give us 2, 10. Now increment the first element, which will give us 3, 10, 5, and increment the last element, which will give us 2, 10, 6. And so on, we can do our search. So the only valid survey we will get is through this branch, that if we first increase this element, again we increase the last element, which will give us 10 to 10, 7, and we still have one operation left, so we will do 10 to 10, 8 by incrementing the last element. So in addition to this, we can also keep a variable which is equal to b initially, that tells us that how many operations we are left with. So initially we are left with 3 operations, then we are left with 2 operations, then we are left with 1 operation, and finally we are left with 0 operations. So finally, if we are left with 0 operations, we'll check how many elements are greater than the special value, which is 7. So we can see that there are 3 elements which are greater than special value. So we want that the number of elements which are greater than special value are at least 3, which is the case in this array. So we will get one special array. So let's try to look. So let's look at the code to understand more clearly. So we initialize n as the size of the array. Now we will find the special value. Special value is the XOR of all the elements. So we'll pass the current array. Now the b value, that is the number of operations we want to do, and c is, that is the number of elements which should be greater than the special value, and also we'll pass the special value as well, and simply we'll finally return the answer. So answer is a global variable, and we will increment each time we'll get a valid array. So recur a, b, c, and val. So b is equal 0, that means we have done all the operations. So we'll find the count of elements which are greater than val. So we'll iterate over the array and find the count of elements which are greater than val. So if that count is greater than equal to c, we'll increment our answer and return. So otherwise we have 4 choices, either to delete first element, delete last element, increment first element, increment last element. So temp equal to a0, that means the first value. So we'll store it in temp so that we can undo the deletion operation. So I'll delete first element. We erase a.begin. That means it will delete the first element. And now we will recur with b minus 1 operations left. And after we are done with that, we restore our array by inserting the first element again. Now we have a choice of deleting the last element as well. So we'll do the same thing. We'll store the last element. We'll remove the last element. We'll recur with this array. And again, we'll restore our array by pushing back the last element. Now we have a choice of incrementing the first element. So we'll increment the first element. We'll recur with this array. And to undo this operation or restore our previous array, we'll decrement as well. And now increment last element. So we'll increment the last element, recur with the new array, and decrement the last element. So what will be the time complexity? As we said that we have 4 operations for each case. Now we will do b operations. So we have 4 is to b. And once we are at the base case, that means we have formed an array. We will have a loop of n. That means we will require n operations to check if this is a valid array or not. So the time complexity will be 4 is to b into n. So 4 is to b being the maximum number of candidate arrays to be checked. So I hope this was clear to you. Thank you for watching this video.